guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. In today's video, I am sharing with you a meal prep with us video. I'm going to show you all the healthy meals that I plan on making for the week and prepping, lots of healthy snack ideas, meal ideas, lots of good stuff in this video. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. So first, I'm going to start prepping some of the potatoes that I plan on making this week. I love having sweet potatoes and roasted Yukon Gold potatoes made for the week that we can just have with our lunches or have on hand in the fridge already prepped that we can just microwave. The biggest thing with eating clean is just being prepared and having things prepped so that you're not constantly making things that take a long time. So for us, prepping things ahead of time makes a big difference, but we also are the type of people that don't want to eat 5-day-old food. So I don't prep too much stuff in advance, just enough to get us through a couple of days, and then I'll do another round of prepping a little bit midweek so that we have fresher food for the back half of the week. I know you don't wanna talk. So I'm going to start by getting the sweet potatoes in the oven. I just wrapped them in foil. I put the oven on 400, and I'm just going to let those go for 55 minutes or so. I just kind of check them periodically. Once they start getting the 50-minute mark, I'll just squeeze them and see if they're super soft. And once they're the texture that I would like, then I pull them out. I don't know the exact timing. I just kind of go by feel. While I'm doing this, Steven put some burgers and chicken strips on the Traeger. We love the Traeger. It is a lifesaver with meal prep. So we've got lots of food that he's prepping. The chicken will mostly be for dinners, for salads and stuff that I plan on making this week. And then the burgers will mostly take for our lunches, or he will take. I eat them at home. But that will mostly be for our lunches and some for the kids as well. And for seasoning for the burgers and chicken, we love Meat Church seasonings. Steven used Holy Gospel on both of these tonight. He also loves Honey Hog, but we were out of it. So now I'm just going to chop up all of my Yukon Gold potatoes. These are our favorite potatoes. And I'm just going to chop them up into small squares basically. And then I'm going to toss them in olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. And then this week I decided to throw in some rosemary just to have rosemary roasted potatoes. But you don't have to do the rosemary if you don't have it on hand, or you don't want to buy it, or you don't like rosemary. You can just use salt, pepper, and garlic. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to toss it all together. The one thing I am careful of is how much olive oil I use. You don't need a lot. And the oil is one way that most people don't really realize that they're adding a lot of calories to their meals. So I just lightly toss them in olive oil, not much at all, just enough to where that they'll start getting a little bit brown while they're in the oven, and the seasonings and everything will stick to the potatoes.
Rhythm got me bouncing, bottles got me crashing. Don't you know? Don't you know?
Sometimes I find that people get a little bit scared with seasonings and they under-season food, and then it just tastes a little bit bland. But you have to remember with potatoes and stuff, specifically this kind of potato, it can really handle a lot of salt, pepper, garlic. Think about a French fry. Lots of salt on there, and it's so yummy, right? So if you're making a healthy version of that, just do lots of pink salt's good for you. There's nothing wrong with sodium. People get scared about it sometimes, but anyways, I do a good amount of seasoning, and it just makes it so, so yummy.
You should know that I'm just in it for the thrill of it. I just wanna get the hang of this, and I know there is no cure. We're moving to a drowning idea.
Now I'm just going to lay my potatoes out on my cookie sheet. I do have a silicone mat down. Just makes it nice so they don't stick. And then I'm going to lay them out and then put them in the oven with the sweet potatoes. Again, just cook them on 400 or 425, whatever you want. You really can't mess this up. And somewhere between 45 minutes to 55 minutes. It kind of just depends on how many potatoes you did, but I just kind of guess, and basically once they've been in there like 45 minutes or so, I'll grab a fork and just kind of poke through them and see if they're like tender the way that I want them. And usually about halfway through the cook time, like 20 to 30 minutes in, I'll just kind of toss them with a spatula just to kind of rotate them around so that they get brown kind of on other sides as well. Here are the chicken and burgers that Steven prepped on the Traeger, looking so good. And now I'm going to start chopping the ends off of my asparagus, and then I'm going to make the asparagus in our air fryer. We have loved having an air fryer. It's amazing, and it's so good for veggies because it's so easy, it doesn't make a mess, and it's nice because it just gets them really like nice and crispy. I feel like there's nothing worse than like soggy vegetables, which is why something, like I was saying earlier, we don't like to prep too much in advance. You know, there's some foods that reheat really well and stay good for multiple days in the fridge. But then there's things like vegetables, asparagus, things like that like you don't want 4-day-old asparagus, you know? It's going to be kind of soggy and gross. So it's so easy to cook and prep that you can do this throughout the week, but I'm going to just make a little bit so that I can have some in my lunches ready to go, and then later in the week I'll cook some Brussels sprouts or something different. But I'm just going to make all of this in the air fryer. I'm going to spray it with olive oil spray, like I talked about earlier, eliminating some of the calories from oils. If you use an oil spray instead of the actual oil, you're going to eliminate a lot of calories because you're not going to be dumping quite as much on there. So for this, I'm just going to spray them with some olive oil spray, use salt, pepper, and garlic, and throw them in the air fryer for just a little bit. Again, I don't really have timings because I kind of just eyeball it, poke them with a fork, see how they feel, and once they feel pretty good, like the tenderness that I would like, then I pull them out and they're good to go. So with all of the food that we've made tonight, you would think that we would have like lunches for the entire week, but really I have 2 lunches here, a burger, a sweet potato, and asparagus. And then Steven takes 2 lunches with him to his office each day, so that's 4 meals for him. And then he made a burger for each of the kids, and then all the chicken that he prepped was mostly used for dinners on Monday and Tuesday nights for salads that I made. So we went through all of this by like Tuesday, which is insane. For reference, we cooked 4 pounds of beef and 2.5 pounds of chicken, so 6.5 pounds of meat, and that's how quickly we went through it. And we spent hours meal prepping, so it does take a lot of time, and it's crazy it doesn't last that long in our house because we eat at home so much. We don't really eat out during the week, but it's so worth it to have clean food. You just feel so much better. And we use a food scale to weigh out all of our protein and stuff, so when Steven makes those burgers, he knows exactly how many ounces of meat he's getting and how many I'm getting, and the kids as well. Now moving on to a snack idea. This is like the easiest snack in the world. Just oatmeal, peanut butter, honey, chocolate chips, and ground flaxseed. So here is the recipe I used. I just Googled like the first thing I found like this. And I think next time I might even do it with dried cranberries instead of the chocolate chips. But this time I was kind of craving the chocolate chips because I thought it'd be good to have these little oatmeal balls on hand in the fridge in case I want something sweet. It's just kind of a healthier, sweet option that can kind of, you know, get rid of your sweet tooth a little bit. So I'm just going to throw everything in here that it says, stir it up. You put it in the fridge for about 20 minutes just to get the mixture kind of cold. It makes it easier to roll up the balls, and then after that's been in there, my timer goes off. Then I will roll up all of the balls, and then I will store them in a Tupperware container in the fridge for whenever we need a snack. And these are great for the kids too. A lot of times Addison doesn't really like eating breakfast. I'll get her breakfast and she'll take a couple bites, but she really likes these, and there's just so many good healthy fats in here. So it's great for her to eat a couple of these, at least get some calories in if she doesn't want a normal breakfast.
I don't feel right when you don't come home. I miss your body and I love you so. Baby, I do, oh yeah. Come on and give me that, give me that, give me that good, good love.
So I'm going to put the mixture in the fridge. I'll set a 20-minute timer, and then while that's sitting in the fridge, I'm going to start prepping my favorite kale salad ever.
Just come on and give me that, give me that, give me that good, good love. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that,
this kale salad, you're going to need some olive oil, salt, and lemons for your dressing. And then for the actual salad, you're going to need fresh kale and some Parmesan cheese. And then I like to do dried cranberries and sliced almonds, but you can of course use any other kind of nut, walnuts, pecans, whatever, or if you prefer a different kind of, like if you want dried cherries or raisins or whatever, you can do kind of whatever you want. But this is what my favorite combination is. And first thing, you're going to obviously wash your kale, and then you want to get it chopped up super fine. Now, if I had a food processor, it would make my life a million times easier when I do this salad, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to chop it all by hand, which is a little bit time consuming. So if you want it to be a little bit quicker, use a food processor. I definitely need to just get one because this does take a little time, but it is so worth it. I love this salad so much.
You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I want to be silly, baby, dance the night away. I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free, and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it.
My timer for the oatmeal balls is done, so I'm going to pull those out of the fridge and start rolling them into balls. Take a little break from the kale salad, and I have a little helper here who is going to help me roll it into balls. It was so funny when we were doing this. She would like roll one kind of, and then she would just like stuff a big handful in her mouth. In the process, she was like eating it all, which was totally fine. It's so cute.
You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
So now these are all done, so I'm going to just seal up this container and keep them in the fridge and have them on hand for a yummy little snack for myself or the kids.
Put your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it.
So moving back to my kale salad, you can see everything is all chopped here pretty finely. It looks great. Now I'm going to start making the salad dressing. So basically, I don't really measure, I don't really know. I'm just kind of pouring in some olive oil. You're basically gonna do like 2 parts olive oil, 1 part lemon juice. But I just do some olive oil, and then I ended up doing, my lemons were kind of small, so I ended up squeezing, I think 3 whole lemons in this. You want it to be like, have the nice balance between the acid from the lemon and then the oil, of course. And then I do a couple little like turns of my pink salt, mix it all together, and then I'll just kind of taste it. And if you feel like it needs more salt or it needs more lemon, just add more. I don't think you have to be nervous about having exact measurements. Just kind of go off of taste. That's what I like to do. That's how I like to cook for the most part.
He brings me flowers on a Tuesday. He gives me good loving, something that I never thought existed.
This dressing truly makes the salad so yummy. And typically I would never toss a salad in dressing ahead of time and then have that prepped in the fridge. But this is one where you can do that. So it almost gets better the second day. You can see I'm sprinkling in my cranberries. I'm going to sprinkle in my sliced almonds and my Parmesan cheese. And I like lots of toppings in here. And then I ended up using all of this dressing. Then I just mix it up with some tongs, but it's perfect. Like I tried it and tasted it. It was so yummy right off the bat, but also tomorrow it'll be just as good, if not better, because the kale will really absorb all that lemon juice and the oil, and it makes it so good. So this is one of those salads, like I said, that you can go ahead and make the dressing. You can prep it, you can toss it and have it all ready to go ahead of time. And then I just left this in the fridge to have for some of my lunches. Steven is not a big kale person, so he won't eat this. And then Brody actually loves it. This is like his favorite thing. He always talks about the kale salad that I make, so he loves it so much. Addison, she's sort of hit or miss with it, but it's great for kids to try. Addison likes to pick out the almonds and the cranberries, but she's not a big fan of the kale salad part. Like I said, Brody loves it, so you just never know with your kids. It's worth a shot, and then if you just want it for you, just leave it in your fridge. And I ended up eating this with some chicken strips that we had prepped for dinner, and it was perfect. And the final little snack idea I'm going to share, or it could be a side with dinner, is a Caprese salad. This is so simple, but it's so yummy. All you're gonna need is some tomatoes, some fresh mozzarella, fresh basil, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, salt, and pepper. So all you have to do is slice up your tomatoes, slice up your mozzarella cheese, chop up your basil, and then you're gonna just drizzle some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, and then do some salt and pepper on top. It is like seriously the most simple thing ever. Today I actually ate this as a snack, but you could definitely do this as an appetizer with like an Italian dinner or whatever. It's just so yummy. The kids love it and I love it too. Mozzarella cheese is also super low in fat, so it's really not unhealthy at all. And anyways, it's just super yummy. I ended up eating this whole plate. I didn't think I was going to because it's actually kind of a lot, but it's just like so delicious and it looks really pretty too.
I watch you as you drive.
So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this style of video. I had a lot of fun putting this together for you guys and sharing some of the fun, yummy meals that we're going to make this week. Sometimes you can get stuck in such a rut with food, so it's nice to get other ideas from other people. So if you like this video and you want me to do more videos like this of things I'm making for the week that are healthy, let me know and I can definitely do that for y'all. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.